The only 3 exercises you need for big biceps that show off in a shirt. A well-developed biceps not only attracts attention with its impressive aesthetics, but also completely transforms the male silhouette. Beyond the visual aspect, strong arms convey confidence and demonstrate dedication. They are that detail that complements any look, whether at the beach, at the gym, or even at work with a dress shirt. Unfortunately, most men, even after training for years, fail to develop truly impressive biceps. You've probably noticed this. Guys who have been working out for a long time, but their arms continue to look the same. This happens because they are making crucial mistakes during their workout. So today you will see the only 3 exercises you need to build enormous biceps, and also the 3 fatal errors that most people make without realizing, which throw away the gains from their training. Stay attentive until the end, because error number 3, besides being the most common, is the one that most hinders biceps hypertrophy, and our workout assembly will be based on correcting it. And if you don't like the exercises, we will also show another option that substitutes it while serving the same function. It's a complete tutorial for your biceps. Error 1. You fail to maintain constant tension. Observe most people at the gym, and you'll see the same problem. They lift the weight and then let it drop, allowing the muscle to completely relax between repetitions. The biceps grows mainly through metabolic tension, the accumulation of lactic acid and other metabolites that signal to the body the need for adaptation. When you allow the muscle to relax completely between repetitions, you're effectively turning off this growth mechanism. The science behind this is clear. Electromyography studies show that biceps activation drops dramatically when the elbow extends completely. In a study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, researchers found that maintaining a slight elbow flexion throughout the exercise increased muscle activation by 23% compared to complete extension. Another related problem is execution speed. Many lifters use momentum to lift the weight, taking tension away from the biceps and transferring it to other structures. This not only reduces results, but also increases the risk of injuries. The solution? Control the movement. Each repetition should be executed with awareness, always maintaining some level of tension in the muscle. This means never completely locking the elbow in the extended position and controlling the weight both on the way up and down. The eccentric phase is particularly important, as this is where greater positive muscle damage occurs, stimulating growth. Error 2. Only working the biceps at the end of the workout. A classic error that seriously limits the development of your biceps is always leaving them for the end of the workout, after having already depleted your energy with larger exercises. Think about it. You've already spent your glycogen reserves and strength on compound exercises, and when it's time for the biceps, what's left? Practically nothing. When you're tired, your technical form deteriorates, the mind-muscle connection diminishes, and you end up using less weight than you would be capable of if you were fresh. Result: insufficient stimulus and growth below potential. The solution to this problem is simple, but requires a change in mindset. Instead of always following the same training structure, consider these alternatives. 1. Dedicate a specific day just for biceps and another smaller muscle group like the triceps, for example. 2. Alternate the order of exercises each week. One week starts with biceps, another ends with them. 3. Split your biceps training throughout the week, doing some sets on different days, always at the beginning of the session. Another effective approach is to start your workout with a compound exercise that also works the biceps, like rows, and then proceed directly to isolated biceps exercises. This way, you pre-fatigue the muscle with a compound movement and then finish it with isolation when you still have enough energy. Remember, your muscles grow in response to the stimulus they receive. If you always leave the biceps for last, you're sending a clear message to your body. This muscle is not a priority. Error 3. Choosing exercises that work the same part of the biceps. The third devastating error, and the most critical one, is the failure to understand the functional anatomy of the biceps, and consequently, choosing exercises that work only one part of this muscle. Many men enter the gym and do 3 or 4 variations of straight curls, believing they are giving the biceps a complete workout. In reality, they are bombarding the same area repeatedly, while neglecting other crucial parts of the muscle. The brachial biceps is not a uniform structure. It has 2 heads, the long head and the short head, plus the brachialis and the brachioradialis, which contribute to the overall appearance of the arms. Each of these parts responds better to different angles and positions of the elbow during the exercise. By performing only one type of movement, you are essentially underdeveloping parts of your biceps, creating both aesthetic and functional imbalances. The long head, which forms the desired biceps peak, is more activated when the elbow is positioned behind the body. The short head, which gives thickness to the arm when viewed from the front, works more intensely when the elbow is in front of the body. The brachialis, which pushes the biceps upward, creating more volume, is best recruited in exercises where the elbow is beside the body. That's why, with anatomical science in hand, we will now show 3 exercises that together will be sufficient to work the biceps completely and ensure harmonious development. One exercise with the elbow beside the body, one with it in front, and another with it behind. Exercise 1. Bayesian curl. The behind-the-body cable curl is not one of the most popular exercises for biceps, but that doesn't affect its enormous effectiveness. The differential of this exercise lies in the strategic positioning of the elbow behind the body throughout the execution. This position puts the long head of the biceps in pre-stretch, creating ideal mechanical tension to stimulate muscle growth. When well developed, the long head creates that impressive curvature that is immediately recognizable in a well-trained arm. Think of it as the mountain that stands out in your arm. The correct execution begins with you standing sideways to the low pulley. Hold the pulley handle with the hand opposite to the machine side, using a supinated grip. The critical point: position yourself so that your arm and elbow naturally fall behind the body line. From this position, keep the elbow fixed behind the body and bend it to bring the handle toward the shoulder in a controlled movement. It is essential that the elbow remains behind the body throughout the exercise. At the top of the movement, intensely contract the biceps for 1 second. When returning to the starting position, do so slowly, controlling the movement for 2 to 3 seconds for the reasons we've already mentioned. An advantage of the pulley is the maintenance of constant tension, even in the stretched position, which intensifies the stimulus for hypertrophy. A common error is to allow the elbow to move forward of the body during the movement, which transfers the tension to other portions of the biceps, reducing the effectiveness for the long head. To maximize results, perform 4 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions, with a 90-second rest between them. Choose a weight that allows you to maintain perfect technique until the last repetition. In this exercise, correct execution is absolutely fundamental. Incorporate this exercise at the beginning of your arm workout when you're fresh and focused. Because it's so efficient at recruiting the long head of the biceps, it establishes a base of fatigue that increases the effectiveness of subsequent exercises. Alternative exercise: incline bench dumbbell curl. If for some reason you don't like or can't perform the Bayesian curl, the incline bench dumbbell curl is an excellent alternative that also works the biceps with the elbow behind the body, but with some notable differences that can be advantageous for certain individuals. The main difference is in the body position. In the inclined curl, you sit on a bench adjusted to approximately 45 to 60 degrees, with your back fully supported. This inclination places your arm in a slightly stretched back position, which pre-stretches the biceps before contraction, creating greater potential for force generation and, consequently, stimulus for growth. To execute correctly, sit on the incline bench holding a dumbbell in each hand, with your arms extended toward the floor and palms facing forward. Keep your elbows fixed beside your body throughout the movement. They should not move forward or backward. Flex your elbows to bring the dumbbells toward your shoulders in a controlled movement. A unique advantage of the incline curl is the increased stretch in the lower position, which more efficiently activates the muscle fibers of the long portion of the biceps. Studies show that exercises performed in a pre-stretched position can stimulate greater hypertrophy due to increased mechanical stress on muscle fibers. Additionally, the inclined position naturally eliminates much of the momentum and swinging that can compromise other biceps exercises, forcing a purer and more focused movement. For many, this is a more comfortable way to achieve perfect muscle isolation. If you opt for this variation, also do 4 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions as we recommended for the Bayesian curl. If you want, you can also alternate between these 2 exercises each week to provide slightly different stimuli to the same muscle group, helping to overcome plateaus and promote more complete development. Exercise 2. Scott Curl. The Scott Curl is a fundamental exercise that places the elbow in front of the body, emphasizing the short head of the biceps and the lower part of the muscle. The power of the Scott Curl lies in its ability to completely isolate the biceps in a position where it is weaker, with the arm extended in front of the body. This mechanical disadvantage forces the muscle to work much more intensely, especially in the lower part of the movement, where most exercises lose tension. The short head is responsible for the thickness of the arm when viewed from the front, while the brachialis, as mentioned earlier, pushes the biceps upward, increasing overall volume. Developing these areas is crucial for arms that look big from all angles, not just when you pose. To execute correctly, sit on the Scott bench with your armpits firmly supported on the top of the inclined pad. Hold the bar with a supinated grip, with hands at shoulder width. Your arms should be extended but not completely locked. Contract the biceps to curl the bar toward the shoulders in a controlled movement. Here's a crucial point. Focus on lifting with the biceps, not with the shoulders or back. At the top of the movement, intensely contract the biceps for 1 second, seeking that mind-muscle connection. On the way down, resist gravity by controlling the weight. Never let the bar simply drop. Besides letting the bar drop, another frequent error is using excessive weight, leading to compromised technique. In the Scott Curl, more than in any other biceps exercise, perfect form outweighs raw weight. A moderate weight with impeccable execution will produce much superior results to a heavy weight with failing technique. You'll know you're doing it correctly when you feel a sensation of constant tension, particularly challenging in the lower part of the movement. If you feel the tension mainly in the shoulders or forearms, adjust your technique. Another important detail: many practitioners allow the elbows to move away from the pad during the ascent, which brings other muscles into the movement and reduces the effectiveness for the biceps. Keep the elbows firmly planted on the pad throughout the exercise. To maximize results, perform 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions, with 90 to 120-second intervals between them. The Scott Curl is particularly demanding, so you may need a little more rest between sets compared to other exercises. Incorporate the Scott Curl as your second main exercise for biceps, after working with the elbow behind the body. Alternative exercise: Spider Curl. The Spider Curl is a less-known variation, but equally effective, that also works the biceps with the elbow positioned in front of the body. This exercise is particularly valuable for those seeking an alternative to the Scott Curl, whether due to available equipment issues or personal preference. The Spider Curl receives this name due to the body position during execution, leaning forward on a bench with arms hanging similar to the legs of a spider. This unique position creates an angle that strongly emphasizes the short head of the biceps, similar to the Scott Curl, with some important mechanical differences. To execute correctly, adjust a bench to approximately 45 degrees of inclination. Sit facing the backrest with your chest supported and arms hanging down beside the bench. Hold a dumbbell in each hand with palms facing inward. As you initiate the movement, rotate your wrists so that the palms face upward, as you curl the dumbbells toward your shoulders. This rotation of the forearm more completely activates the biceps, which functions both as an elbow flexor and as a forearm supinator. The unique position of the Spider Curl naturally prevents the use of momentum or body swinging, forcing a purer isolation of the biceps. A significant advantage of the Spider Curl over the Scott Curl is the freedom of movement of the elbows, which are not fixed against a pad. This allows a more natural arc of movement that can be more comfortable for people with a history of elbow or shoulder discomfort. Additionally, the use of dumbbells allows each arm to work independently, helping to correct imbalances in strength and development between the right and left sides, something common in many practitioners. To maximize results, perform 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions. Exercise 3. Straight Dumbbell Curl. This classic position works both heads of the biceps in a balanced way, providing harmonious development of the muscle as a whole. What makes the straight dumbbell curl particularly effective is its ability to uniformly recruit all biceps fibers when executed with proper technique. Because it's a natural and anatomical movement, it allows for using relatively heavier loads safely, maximizing the stimulus for growth. Electromyography studies confirm that this exercise generates balanced activation of both the long head and the short head of the biceps. In practical terms, this means proportional development that contributes to that impressive ball appearance when the arm is viewed from the front. It's also one of the easiest exercises to execute correctly. Simply stand with feet shoulder-width apart and knees slightly flexed. Hold a dumbbell in each hand with arms extended beside the body and keep the elbows close to the trunk, aligned with the hips. From there, flex the elbows to bring the dumbbells toward the shoulders in a controlled movement. On the way down, resist gravity by controlling the weight for 2 to 3 seconds. Return to the starting position with arms extended beside the body, but without completely locking the elbows to maintain constant tension on the biceps. A common error is letting the elbows move away from the body during the ascent, which reduces biceps isolation and can overload the shoulders. Another frequent error is using momentum by swinging the body. This should be rigorously avoided, as it drastically reduces the effectiveness of the exercise. For optimal results, perform 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions with 60 to 90-second intervals. Alternative exercise: straight cable curl with bar. The straight cable curl with bar is an excellent alternative that also works the biceps with the elbow positioned beside the body, offering some unique advantages compared to the dumbbell version. The main difference is in the resistance curve. While dumbbells follow the force of gravity, providing greater resistance in the position parallel to the ground, the pulley creates constant tension throughout the entire range of motion. This characteristic is particularly valuable for biceps development, as it eliminates the dead spots where tension typically decreases. Additionally, the pulley reduces stress on the wrist joints compared to the version with heavy dumbbells, making it a more comfortable option for those with a history of discomfort in this area. To execute correctly, position yourself in front of a low pulley machine, holding a straight bar or a W bar connected to the cable. Keep the elbows fixed beside the body, aligned with the trunk. Flex the elbows to bring the bar toward the shoulders, keeping wrists firm and elbows stationary. At the top of the movement, intensely contract the biceps before controllably returning to the starting position. To maximize results, perform 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. The nature of the constant resistance of the pulley allows working with slightly higher repetitions without compromising intensity, which can stimulate different types of muscle fibers. And remember, the muscle responsible for the greatest volume of the arm is not the biceps, but the triceps. Therefore, if you want to learn how to work the 3 heads of the biceps, we have a video appearing right now on the screen showing and explaining an exercise for each part of this muscle group and the best part. All you'll need are just dumbbells. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching until here, and may God bless you, my friend.